Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. I hope you're having a phenomenal day so far, and welcome to this evening's stream, where we're kicking off with some Sunday night Stellaris. We're currently waiting for some players to finish getting themselves ready, and then we'll be doing the connection phase. So let's just remind people. Sorry, chat. If I get round to it for YouTube viewers of the VOD, I'll see if I can cut the first 5 minutes off the stream. We're just waiting for our last player to join now. Oh, while we're waiting, you can go and check out Searcane's awesome stream of Cozy Caravan. Today, First Look Friday play of Cozy Caravan over on Gaming Buzz. One of our community editors. Well, one of our editors. Always super entertaining watching her stuff. Pretty good you watched it yesterday. Glad to hear it, Mark. How are you enjoying Computex so far? So far has been anything unexpected. Yeah, I think that was my view too. Come on, Cookie. Yeah, there's been a few interesting previews. I saw, was it Fantex have changed their logo and done a new case design that doesn't look like it's finished to go to production yet, but is kind of an interesting concept with 3 glass sides. Joining now, cool Tomat. I will wait for you as well. Because multiple hot joins is not a thing that Stellaris loves. Do. There's Tomat. Oh, they're leaning into the fixed routing of the 24-pin. Yeah, it's a neat idea. I feel like it might be a right pain, though. Although they did do like an S-shape angling, which the S might mean that it will look neat, and by the time you've angled it top and bottom, I feel like that would be an utter pain to route. There we go. Right, there's everyone in. And the keynote tomorrow should be interesting. Expect to announce the next generation of Ryzen stuff. Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd really like a more consumer-focused Threadripper, or at least chips with more PCIe lanes. Because honestly, the only reason I would upgrade my CPU at this point, I'm running a 5950X. For me to upgrade my PC, there would need to be more PCIe lanes, because my problem is PCIe lanes, not my CPU speed's not a hindrance. My memory speed's not a hindrance. It is literally PCIe lanes, which for those who don't know are the way that you connect, how things connect to the CPU. So if you use a lot of USB devices, I do, USB controllers take up PCIe lanes. And if you use a lot of solid state storage, I also do, then that solid state storage takes up PCIe lanes. So you can buy a board that says it can have 5 M.2 drives in it, and then find that if you put 5 M.2 drives in it, your graphics card, which takes up 16 lanes, those M.2 drives, that takes up 20 lanes. That's 36 lanes gone. Your USB devices will start to fail. And that's without you putting in like a 10 gigabit or without any networking at all as well. So it's more that it wasn't such a problem before because everything was connected via slower SATA, which didn't take as many lanes up. Now they're being connected by faster PCIe lanes. It is a bit of an issue. And a typical integrated number of PCIe lanes is 24. So that's one GPU, one NVMe SSD, and 4 for the chipset. Before things start getting a bit ropey. We're just waiting for it to let me sync up. Yeah, 24 on AMD, 20 on Intel. Whereas it's 48 on AMD Threadripper or 128 on Threadripper Pro. There we go. We're underway. Cookie, Tolga, Ryan, Physics, Hobo, Dak, and Daft.
Hooray!
We're going a bit fast, Franco.
I turned it down slowest. You saw it before it started. It's jumped.
Okay.
That's interesting.
My entire game is lagging.
On my screen, it only just went down to slowest, so that means
Okay,
that
I'm going to pause it. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm saying that Cookie's behind, so I'm pausing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
but no, why? Don't have anything open.
among all the other things that delay, apparently the speed also is on a delay.
There we go.
Hello.
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 Time to get the test out. What's it doing there?
Alright, Daft, when the sensor link we have expires, can you redo it so I can keep track of that fleet?
Oh, sure, yeah.
That explains. Up. That's a CTD straight there.
Ooh.
Oh, for goodness sake. Paused. I know, I've
Ouch.
already changed it.
What happened?
I got a CTD.
Well, that might mean we have to rehost, but can you try connecting first?
I will try to connect first, yes.
Wait, CTD? What's that?
Crash
Crash to
desktop.
desktop.
Oh
The good news is this took me 2 seconds now to load into the game instead of 5
So
minutes.
why did it take 5 minutes before?
I don't know.
I was gonna mention my game, and then I thought about it. I'm like, well, the only time that it really does that is like when they have 30 other things open.
Mm-hmm.
Password. Join.
Okay. Hot join is underway. Please don't be trying to do anything.
Yep, I have no clue why I did this. This loaded way quicker in now than compared to the first one. Don't know why.
Well, you had a background process or something working in the background before, you don't now.
That's my only explanation.
We're back playing. There we go.
Did someone just disconnect again from the chat?
Was is trying to get things working. We can't hear him, I assume.
Ah,
Cookie is clicking days just very slowly.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my side as well.
It'll probably speed back up.
I've paused it again if people can stop doing stuff.
What happened again?
Cookie is behind again instantly.
He hasn't. He's clicking days still.
I do not understand why.
On my side, it's stopped. Right,
Well,
now he's
we're
back
all-
up to date.
I really don't understand why.
And he's instantly fallen behind by 2 days. 3 days, 4 days.
I really don't understand why.
Dutch internet doesn't like to travel uphill.
No, because I'm watching the Stellaris thing and it's only using 10% currently and it's moderate. That's no issues. But the game is really slow, ticking after them.
Still can't hear you, Russ.
Something down in the background, let's see. Look like it.
Research concluded.
Paradox crash report. What the heck is happening?
Did it crash again?
Yes, this time I got a crash report filter.
I've paused again. What does the crash report say?
An error occupied in the application. Quit express crash report alert has been generated, which could help us fix in the future. Crash report is 38 MB. Tell us what happened more before the crash.
Okay. You need to verify your files before you try rejoining, otherwise nothing's going to change. And I would actually recommend restarting your PC, then verifying your files, then rejoining.
I shall be back in a second then.
No worries. Right, I'm going to keep an eye out for Cookie getting back in the stream waiting room because I'm assuming he'll start Discord after he's done the verification. I'll grab him back in. If anyone wants to go and make a drink, now seems like a good time to do it.
Go get rid of my dishes.
That seems entirely reasonable.
I'm gonna go take my son to use the potty, because now we're in potty training season.
That sounds like a fine idea.
I'm gonna shake my head disappointingly.
Hey, you want to hear something weird? I was checking our company benefits store and their discounts, and I looked at the we can get discounts on tickets to some theme parks and stuff like Six Flags, I guess. I looked at the discount, and then I looked at the Six Flags website, and it seems like the discounted tickets are more than the tickets on Six Flags website. I don't know if it's because you just buy one and it's any day in the season or something instead of a specific date.
Ripper.
But yeah, what's the point of the discount if it's not a discount?
My poor Dargon station. All the alloys that went into the platforms for that, and we had to kill what platforms were left.
That's why I only rely on reliable alloys like Delft Panzer.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Cookie's been having a lot of issues with his computer lately. I think maybe he's got something going on with it that he doesn't know about. Or maybe he's got a bad RAM chip or something.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, like, remotely, if he was a little bit closer to me in the world, I could help diagnose it. Remotely diagnosing computer issues is, unless it's super obvious, is kind of a pain in the ass, because the things that could be causing it are everything from GPU. So some of the things he's got in some games is definitely, I would say, GPU. But it could be an SSD dying. It could be, like you say, a bad RAM chip. Although it would be a lot more unusual in general. There's loads of small things.
SSD, because it seems like it's virtual RAM issues with Gray.
Yeah, it certainly could well be. And part of the problem is that you could change another component and it wouldn't show that problem up. Like if he's waved a magic wand and had a new GPU, he likely wouldn't have that issue, not because the issue's solved, but because he's not using as much of the drive for that virtual cache, because it's more cached on the GPU itself, and it could still rear its ugly head again later.
If he's only running 16 gig and he replaces them with 32 to fix his possible RAM issues, he won't notice a virtual RAM issue anymore.
Right, because again, it's not being put onto the SSD. It could be that his SSD's is filling up, or is so you're seeing cache issues. So yeah, and just to be clear, because I can see Cookie's still in chat, we're not blaming you, Cookie. Tech issues suck. It's just like, if there was a simple solution, we would be proposing one, but there's like 4 potential components already that it could be.
Dude,
which is why tech issues suck.
I had an issue years ago, early Intel days, and I couldn't figure out what it was for the life of me. It ended up being the thermal grease dried up on my chip.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was in a really dry environment. The thermal grease dried up, and my chip was overheating.
Wow.
Makes sense.
And it took forever to fix, because it was so barely overheating that it would be such random crap going on. I think I'd have it fixed, and nope. Yeah, and I got so mad one day I just tore the whole thing apart. And then when I took the heatsink on, because I didn't have fans on them yet, it was just heat sinks then. Took the heatsink off and it came right off the chip. It wasn't even glued to the chip anymore with a thermal grease. I'm like, well, there's the problem.
Yep, that's a thing that can happen, I guess.
So then I had to clean all the thermal grease off both the fan and the freaking chip without damaging the chip, and then put new thermal grease on.
Those of us again.
Yeah, it's there are so many small things, which is why, like, I think building gaming PCs or like fiddling with your own PC is like people fiddling with 3D printers. People that are really into tinkering, great, go for it. Like, you'll have a lot of fun doing it. You'll figure out how it works. It's like rebuilding an engine in an old car. That's great for you, but you wouldn't be rebuilding the engine yourself if you need the car to work today.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Russ.
Oh, thank God for that. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, hang on. I've wasted an opportunity I've been waiting for years to troll. We could have just ignored him. Damn it.
That would have been very unfunny given the amount of faff I'm doing here.
No, I thought it would have been.
Yeah, but in my defense of what you're talking about, I grew up, my dad knows more about computers than anybody I know. He taught me everything I know about computers when I was growing up, so he's 80,
and that makes it even more frustrating, right? Because like, I think I'm up at 14 computers now for the community in the last like 4 years that I've hand built. One of those has had issues, and it's my own one.
Well, if you're looking to add more to that list,
I don't think you want me to build your PC, bud.
I've never bought a PC. I've always just built.
Yeah, I've bought laptops, but I've built 2 of my previous laptops, but that was years ago when that was an option, like for a consumer. Because you used to be able to buy laptop shells. No?
Nope, never even owned a laptop.
So I've used laptops for work.
Yeah, they were. I never needed a working one, a travel PC for work. So and laptops are too limited in comparison to PCs.
Yeah, definitely. Unless you have
not like as bad anymore. They used to be really bad.
Oh yeah, they used to be god awful because you'd end up with a luggable with your gaming laptop, which a lot of people had. Like I had a 16-inch luggable that was about the same size as my own PC case. But I thought I liked building until I went for a MIDI case. I mean, Sherlock, I think to be fair, I did inform you thusly, my friend. I was like, that's a super cool case. I wouldn't want to build in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I did a MIDI case one time because the space was an issue. And yeah, never again. I know I go for freaking the biggest tower I can get. Lots of room, lots of airflow.
Yeah, and if you don't have room, like I get it. Like particularly a lot of UK households don't have room for like a PC desk, or if you're in an apartment with a partner and you don't have the room to dedicate to a PC desk, gaming laptop's still a viable way forward. You're just not going to get anything close to the performance that you would think you would get because a lot of people don't understand the difference between laptop components and PC components is massive. Like a laptop-based 40-something is nothing like the desktop version of a 40-something, whatever it is. Flanker, as you should know, stubbornness is not is a quality, not an issue. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, bud. I nearly bought one at the same time you did, and I'm so glad I didn't because I would have been stubborn enough to finish it too. And don't worry, I wasn't casting a stone in your direction without appreciating that it was one my glass house was already broken from.
No one's judging you, Tomat. I'm just saying I haven't done it myself. I'm not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's no.
Like I built power in what used to be freaking what is it for Dell Bottom, another good gaming PC company. I used to recommend those to people that don't have.
Oh, Alienware used to be a cracking brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it that? There's a gaming PC that Dell bought that before they bought them was really good.
Alienware.
Yeah, Alienware. They were awesome.
Not really. They were always known for being massively overpriced.
I mean, yeah, but those overpriced, and then they were still good gaming PCs. They were never good value. No, they were never cheap. Some of them were good value.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the difference between me fiddling around with building someone else's PC, I'm fiddling around production machines. I hate fiddling with production machines. Because it's not just the cost of the components, then it's the cost of the downtime that you're trying to figure it out. Well, I need to make sure I do that. Doesn't look like Cookie's managed to restart or verify yet, so. And again, not rushing Cookie, just checking because I'm doing other things in the background too.
I'm rushing, Cookie. Hurry the fudge up, man.
Well, I'm just
60%,
walking
no
out to
worries.
the Stellaris music.
That's reasonable. The Stellaris music score is cracking. The Machine Age stuff's really good as well. It doesn't play it very much on our multiplayer though.
Oh.
I think you need to physically own the DLC, I think, to listen to the music. At least that's been my experience. So
Yeah, but why I'm not getting to listen to it though?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was more a random thought of mine than
Yes.
actually addressing your point. But yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. It's probably on YouTube.
I think it probably is on YouTube, and it is worth listening to, so.
Something I'll definitely praise Paradox for is music in their games. It's usually pretty amazing.
Also, like, the privilege of money solving problems. My favorite headset has broken, so I'm going to have to do another warranty, which is going to take weeks to sort out. So I just I spent my savings and bought another one of the same one that I had before, because it's got a fatal flaw in it. I know it's got a fatal flaw in it. I know it will break. I know it will need a warranty replacement, but it's still the best headset, and I will take 3 years of that over any of the other headsets, including some of their newer ones. But if you don't have that option, like to just go, oh, put on my business card because I use it for work, that's not exactly an option for solving most people's problems.
Looks like Cookie has an issue on the other side of his empire. He has
Yeah.
a rival building up forces on his other border.
Well, we might be able to get over there to help him. I think all my fleets are still in his empire area. We'll get it covered.
They're the people that are between you and him. The Galactic 00.
Yes, I am Sherlock.
The Galactic 00 Onan nation.
Yeah, I'm going to end up. This is going to be the third of the same headset model I've sent back for a warranty replacement on.
Oh wow, that probably means you use them a lot.
I use them. Oh yeah, I use them for 18 hours a day, every day. It's still the problem with them is that they have put a tiny washer where the head, the speaker connects to the headphone frame is a very small piece of metal holding it onto a screw. It's like a small washer. And that's one of the areas on the headset that gets the most wear. So what it does over time is it cracks the plastic of the case, so the ear cup will come off. And it's easily solved. You just put a larger piece of aluminium curved the same bit of the same curve as the headset with a hole through it, and put the washer through that and the plastic. The force is then being applied across a much larger area, so it won't cause a cracking.
Yeah, that is pretty simple. And they'd have to make less for you, less headsets for you. So for you, at
Yeah.
least, it will be much cheaper.
Yep. But the headset is still my go-to headset. I'm not sure I would recommend it to others quite so loudly now, because I've had 3 of them. And it's not just me using them wrong. Those 3 have been 3 different headsets. I think one of mine's broke previously, so that's the second one that will be going in for warranty replacement. And one of my team had a headset that broke on them exactly the same way. And every one of them fails in exactly the same way.
So Apple did this thing where every time heads like your earbuds broke, the warranty would be set. I went through like 5 years on one warranty, on one 1-year warranty.
Yep. The thing is
and that was buying like 7 or 8 different, 7 or 8 of the same earbuds.
I saw Cookie. In the UK, and this law is different in every country. There is it's not the Sale of Goods Act. It's a slightly different law now. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But basically, manufacturing defects, products must be of a reasonable quality and last a reasonable time. There's a reasonably famous case in the UK of someone suing an iron manufacturer for years and years after the warranty had expired because of a manufacturing defect that caused it to fail, which you would reasonably expect not to be there. And they had to give him a new iron years out of warranty, and they lost the case and had to pay his legal costs.
That makes sense.
So manufacturers don't just have free run in the UK. If you like go back to them, it's out of warranty by 2 days, you're like, cool, but this is a manufacturing defect. If it's a defect because it's caused by expected wear or tear, or you've used it out of the normal spec, you're SOL. But if it is something that you have genuinely been using as it is intended to be used, and it is a manufacturing defect that has caused it, you can get something well out of warranty. The warranty frankly doesn't matter. The law supersedes anyone's warranty. Theron says the headset we use at a company nearly all break at the mic arm because a tiny cable connecting the mic rubbing on the plate when moving up and down, so it's breaking exactly the same area all the time. Yep, had the same thing with a HP laptop before. They had a metal frame in the case with sharp edges and then ran a ribbon cable for the keyboard over the top of it. Every one of them failed because the ribbon cable would eventually get cut enough to cause shorts, which meant the keyboard would stop working. Every company can have a bad day. It's just what they do with it. And to be fair to the headset manufacturer that manufactures the ones I use, which is SteelSeries, they have replaced every single one. They've taken their sweet time about having more stock of the current one made back in again. I've waited months for one. But they have replaced them. And their customer service has been pretty awesome. It annoys me a little bit that such a good headset that is my favourite headset just has this one small flaw that means that it will fail at some point. And that it could be dealt with by 2 small pieces of aluminium at maybe a cost of, let's be super generous, $2 on a headset that's the MSRP is $325.
And they could probably just increase the price and be fine anyways.
The pricing... if you have a BOM increase of $2, that would be a cost increase of $10 for most tech items.
Okay.
But and the pricing is probably going to be a bit difficult to raise because you're already at the very premium end, and you're competing with other $300 and odd headsets. Theron says, remember correctly, about 75% of our headphones had this issue. And don't talk about 10 or 20, I'm more like 4 digits. Yeah. Waiting on the second part, nearly done. Cool, Cookie, that's great. One of the things that I've kept spending more money on are things that I use all the time. If I don't use something all the time, I'll buy the cheapest possible version of it, or maybe none of it at all. And if I break the cheapest possible version of it and still want to go back and get another one of it, then I'll spend more money on it. Because there's a reason call center headsets for professional call centers normally cost an arm and a leg. One of those reasons is Plantronics likes money. But they also tend to have a reasonable warranty on them. And they tend to be reasonably well built because companies buy thousands of them. But just looking at it, they've come down in price a little bit, or they're just offering more consumer based ones. Because we used to have some fairly terrible looking, they look like the old Sony Walkman headphones. And by the old ones, I mean like with a thin strip of like aluminium over the top of them, with replaceable fluffy, cheap feeling cushions on the mic and the ears. But I think our failure rate on those was in low single figures. Although I would say at the cost, they were exceptionally expensive. Oh, they're still quite expensive. So the newest version of a monaural, which is a one-ear headset for them, for the sort of ones that you would use in a contact centre, £109 per headset. Not world-endingly expensive, but it is. And a two-ear is the same price.
I did a machine age run of Virtuosity,
right?
Which for that one, you can't have a lot of planets. So I have a 2-planet run because the bonuses you get from Virtuosity, the more planets you have, the lower the bonus gets till 0. So you want as few planets as possible. So I made an ocean world. So he's not in yet. So I made an ocean world that's got that's building it up, right? So it's got 30 to start with. It's year 2300-ish, and I stopped playing, and because I was outproducing all the AIs in the game.
Wow, really?
It's stupid.
Yeah,
with 2 planets.
Stupidly busted.
With 2 planets, I'm outproducing every other AI empire in the entire universe. I have 2 Dyson swarms, won't let me build a 3rd, and I have 2 arc furnaces and won't let me build a 3rd. I don't know why. It's bugged. I don't really need them. And they're all maxed out. My Unity's not great because machines aren't very good at doing Unity, but
okay.
Maybe it won't let you have a 3rd one unless you have a 3rd planet?
No, I don't think that's what it is.
I mean, no, either.
That wouldn't make sense, but maybe. Because I've only used 2 of my 3 cap. Because once you get Mega Engineering, it adds 1 more to your cap, and then once you get, yeah, I think that's it. And if you start with that 1 special thing, you can make 4 to begin with, and then your cap becomes 5. With Mega Engineering. I'm also got more research. I've only got research on 1 planet, and I'm building, the other planet's got all my freaking, Unity buildings. And I guess looking at my Unity production here, it's about the same. So it's not, they're actually not bad on Unity, but you dump so much into those building those Dyson swarms and arc furnaces.
That makes sense.
Because it's like 1,000 to build each one, and then the upgrades go up from there, 2,000, 4,000. So you're like, rather than putting in traditions, you're putting it into production. Yeah, it's stupid.
Just out of interest, Cookie, the drive that you have the game installed on, well, is it? How big is the drive, and how much of it is free? If you look under your PC when you get a second, it's not urgent, and go to this PC, it should show you all of your drives, and it will say X free of Y. While I'm saying that, I'm realizing my drives are above the recommended limits as well.
Oh.
Which... That's alright, it's going to mean I have to take my PC apart on one of the days that I'm not using it, which is, never.
Oh wow, I'm already at about 50% of my local disk used.
50% is A-okay.
Yeah, but I haven't even installed all the things I want on this computer.
Yes.
I install things as they come up.
Well, I'd love to plead that it's because I don't have very big drives, but I've got 12 terabytes of installed space on this PC.
Well, you also are playing a lot of graphics-heavy games.
Oh, and have a lot of other non-stream related projects on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his games probably don't take up that much of his work space.
Yeah, most of it is actually... I wonder how much my Dropbox actually is.
Let's see. Sylvia and Off Sleep are good places for Dyson's forums.
Cookies and waiting.
Yep, I'm just grabbing him.
Right,
I'm going to let the game run, right, because people have definitely clicked things while we've been paused. I'll let the game run for 5 days, so please don't click anything.
Okay.
Okay, it's paused again, and then I'm doing the hot join now.
My SSD is about 25% free. My hard drive, because this is an old computer, and SSDs were new when I built it, is 3 terabytes of 3.6 terabytes free. Lots of room on that one.
Right.
I don't keep stuff installed if I haven't played it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, most of my... I don't have a hard drive any longer. I need to sort my NAS out as well. But most of the stuff that's taking up space on mine are things like even community-related stuff. So there's some that's VODs and stuff that's ready for editing. Some are video projects. The Dropbox that contains our media library for all the stuff we do for Gaming Buzz is pretty enormous. It's 1.5 terabytes.
Ooh, tech question. How do I set up a computer for 2 monitors?
You plug the second monitor in.
I can't because it only has one HDMI for some reason.
What? You might be using the wrong port, sir.
No. It's got one normal HDMI, and it's got 3 not quite HDMIs.
Oh, yeah, that's okay then. Yeah, you plug one of those in. HDMI is the slowest of the standards you can get coming out of your card. Those others are DisplayPort. You can get DisplayPort to HDMI connects if you're trying to use another HDMI monitor that only has HDMI input. But if your monitor has DisplayPort output, I would use, I would use the DisplayPort outs on your PC.
Yeah, my old monitor certainly only has HDMI. I don't know about my new monitor. I can check that real quick.
Yeah, I would check that one because you'll be able to then connect your new monitor to a DisplayPort if it has one. Because you can get adapters, but they are.
We're playing again for those you not paying attention.
I was
Thank
not.
you.
But either way, I can afford to get away from it to check the back of my.
Engaging hostile
monitor.
forces.
I need to take that system.
Has Cookie managed to join?
Yep.
Good news.
And actually, Russ, you're the one that's furthest behind right now. You've caught up. It's not world ending. We're going much faster though. Thank you, Cookie.
It's all your fault, Russ.
I have no clue what's going wrong overall.
Yeah, that looks like a DisplayPort back there.
You don't have very much space on for virtual memory on your drive, so that might be part of it.
I mean, I have 100 gigabytes free.
Yeah, you have about 10%.
Yeah, I mean, World of Warcraft is pretty big, Cult is pretty big, Total Warhammer is pretty big, Stellaris, Arma are all on my workhorse. All the big games I have on one drive, and the small games I have on my local disk.
I highly recommend getting an external SSD.
Paradox games are just
Or
weird.
putting another SSD on your inside your PC.
Oh wait, you can do that. I can't do that. I couldn't do that for my laptop, if you remember.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's the only reason why I think only externals.
Yeah. External drives they are fine, but you're adding additional points of failure with external drives. So if you don't have an option, external drives are great. But things like SanDisk had some very expensive external drives, of which I own 10 or 12 for work, that just kept failing all the time. As in data lost, gone.
And they aren't as the cabling, the external cabling is not as efficient as internal cabling.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, Stellaris for a moment. I'm in a war because I have a defensive pact with my neighbor, and these guys went through my neighbor who they have claims on. They no longer possess those claims, and are coming for me. I have no peace. Oh wait, the Galactic market, I forgot about that. Oh wait, no, I didn't forget. It only just started.
Okay, so in the 5 days I was away, the AI has deconstructed my star base and wants to make a new one on a different base.
That sucks.
It does suck, but it doesn't suck as much as not getting to play. So
Yeah, I mean, it was only a tier 1 star base.
yeah, it's not a real issue. It's just sucks.
At least it's not the one on that border where you're about to have a war.
No, that one is actually upgrading.
Do we have a formal?
Right, how far is that bombarding going? Oh, they're nearly gone from that planet.
So I got a new desk fan, and this one is significantly smaller than my old one. And I was disappointed about that. But just now I realized I can put it between my arms. It's that small.
Fleet land.
It's amazing.
Let's look on the other planets.
Is it your number one fan?
I think so.
I'm moving my fleet to the other planets to bombard. Because this one is done. He now has one
Look at
planet
these
remaining.
guys just sitting here.
Cookie, I'll do that. Move your fleets back to get ready for your other war that's about to kick off. And start repairing them.
I was already making it. Ow, echo.
Yeah, you're gonna want your fleets over there, so I'll finish the bombardment over there.
Yeah, physics uses push to talk because there's an echo otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I have already a fleet that was already bombarding from 800 big.
Yeah, it's a tiny fleet.
Yeah. I mean, that one was basically the second fleet that I was building up that was helping in this war.
Right.
Does anyone want to be funded? Does anyone want their war funded?
Don't you need to build a fleet? Because don't you have...
No, I
bandwidth?
can't. I'm civilians. We can't have a fleet. We need to maintain our civilian status.
I'll take alloys because I need to rebuild my fleet for my
Is
war.
the
Threat over already.
We're bombarding the last planet of the Zealots. Yeah.
System survey
Also,
concluded.
physics, I'm upgrading that star base basically for you. Before I transfer it over to you.
Oh, thanks. I don't have that tech yet.
Yeah, it's the AI chose to upgrade it for basically, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine with me, because I having to upgrade better anyways.
He pieced out. I can't bombard.
All right. Yeah, it's only in 186 remaining.
Did someone say they needed alloys?
I said if you're giving away, I'll take some.
Whose fleets are still in Crotasius?
Apes together in United Ocean, so Tolmat and Flanker.
Alright. If one of the two fleets could come over and bombard in Enif, speed up that progress.
Wait, they sent their fleet over to attack my starbase and lost half their fleet. And are now just trying to go back. They're so dumb!
Council agenda ready.
The customary diplomatic penny.
Can you tell him I don't have much to do at the moment, Hobo? I sent Hobo 1 energy credit.
The finely engraved with words
Yeah,
of
it's a-
love
yeah.
and friendship between our peoples.
Indeed.
The
Special
real,
edition energy credit.
the real cost is priceless.
Indeed.
Monthly? Okay.
No, just
That's
you're talking about
awesome.
something.
Thank you, Tolgor.
No problem. Thank you. Gonna help me build up some of my economy and also preventative for these 3 AI empires on the other side.
Oh, thank you, physics. Wow.
Demolish.
I won't spend it all at once.
Stop all pop growth on this planet. I want everything to die out first before I build this planet up.
Ooh, right, I can colonize this planet now. This is going to be such a great research world. Plus 10% to everything and plus 30% to society.
I have an unemployed worker.
For some reason, I have 2 ruler unemployed and 1 specialist unemployed.
Probably the planet you took over.
Yeah, but they're on my main capital.
Then the AI changed something, took down a building that had a ruler in it. Because he was a ruler. They don't start out as rulers.
Ah, yes, the AI deals spam across the screen.
Yay.
Unholy Cookie is now playing Stellaris.
What? I've been playing the entire time. Heck.
Why are there so many fast food chains on my planets?
Don't know.
I don't even use food.
That ship.
Fast rock restaurants?
No, the fast food restaurants, the fast food chains from
Yeah.
Tolmad.
Yeah,
They serve
it's
salt.
the Hard Rock Cafe, mate. The main
They
the
just serve
food's
salt there.
not that great, but the t-shirts are pretty cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna run out of consumer goods in 12 months.
Well, I have enough spare influence that I can boost my marketplace nomination bid to as much as I want. Well, the usable 2 times. I mean.
Sounds like a waste of money.
Not really.
How is it I have chemical plants but not moat harvesting traps?
They're 2 different researches.
I know, but you usually get the natural one before the... It's mildly upsetting and annoying.
Arc Furnace. Unlock Arc Furnace. Cool. I'll take that.
Oh.
That one upgraded.
The Caravaneers left a piece of garbage in my land. I went to study it, and it gave me crystal-infused plating.
Sweet.
Nice.
I can't wait for my militia fleet to make good use of that.
Let's see how much is remaining on that planet. 167. Nearly down to nothing.
I realized something. My nation even vaguely has the shape of Switzerland, and I'm just a money-making area surrounded by major powers.
Wow.
Now all you need to do is provide mercenaries to guard the Pope, and you're well away, mate.
Yeah.
Almost. Did everyone remember to put a delegate into the Senate?
Oops.
Sorry, do a what?
A delegate into the Senate. Hire an officer just to be your Senate delegate.
Oh yeah, that.
Yes, of course. Why would it?
It's a
Takes so
boost
long
to
to
your. It's a boost to your. Whatever it is. Diplomatic weight.
It's usually better to train them up as a governor first. Right, like train them up with governance to be a delegate.
Yeah, but if you didn't think ahead of time to do that, it's better to have a level 1 guy in there than no one in there.
Yes. Absolutely.
Nothing for you to do here. You there.
Now, I could either leave the guy unemployed or I could turn on my clerks. Right now, my clerks are off.
Turned on clerks don't normally go well, mate.
They only give 1% trade value. My unemployed guys give +8 and 8. Plus each research.
Robotics physics?
I went to go check if my internet was starting to die.
Yeah, same.
It was physics.
Wow, I had a robotic voice?
Yeah, only
Yeah.
just for a wee second there. I think you just got infected by your off-stream game, mate. It's fine. Also, I would say it's back again now, so it might just be a glitch in the network connection.
A glitch in the Matrix?
Okay, I have located a system for my third arc furnace.
Nice.
Finally.
Alright, I need to build up my resources.
I'm happy for you. The third arc furnace, I'm not being a dick to Cookie.
What do you mean?
That I'm happy he found this. I was being sarcastic about him being happy. About being happy he found his third place for an arc furnace. I just said it after you said something.
Say you're ready to jump in. 125 armies garrison still.
Can I make an arc furnace?
What is this arc furnace y'all keep talking about?
It's new with the machine empires. No, I can make a Dyson swarm.
I have the origin that gives me enough furnace from the start.
It's a rare tech.
Gotcha.
There we go. Oh.
All right.
Settling more outposts around the space of Super Earth.
I was just going to say, yeah, I see new deep fryer branch officers opening. I'm happy to see.
Of course, we have to be the first there to provide moral support when the bugs show back up. We will be your logistics wherever you are. McDonald's will pop up even in the middle of a war zone.
That's great.
I just realized the Voldaren community has a fear of the dark origin.
Where is it? Oh.
This reminds me of that.
That explains why they were so strong.
This reminds me of that boat in World War II where America made so many ships that they actually just had a ship purely for offering ice cream out to the sailors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember reading an article about that.
It wasn't a case that they built too many boats, it was a case that they realized how important morale was.
That too.
Oh, wasn't there something about, like the Japanese found out about this and then they realized how screwed they were logistically because the US could afford to have an ice cream ship as part of their fleet.
Well, not just could afford, had the logistic capacity.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Classic America.
both World Wars were won because of American logistics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This reminds me of the pictures of more recent American wars where, like I mentioned, in the middle of a war zone, just around like various pieces of wood and cardboard, little miniature McDonald's for the soldier.
Well, World War II though, the Russians had a lot of people that they were able to throw at the Germans. They did a lot of work.
They didn't go very far, and their logistics was horrible, which is why they got run over at the beginning. And their logistics still, they don't have a culture of logistics, which is why they're doing so bad in the Ukraine.
Yeah, they don't have a good cultural doctrine or logistics.
Just throw more men at the problem. That always works.
Not that I particularly want to defend Russia's current actions in any way, but they are also moving their economy to a total war status, which is what will change that. Yes. Which, just to explain, is a status where you're taking over factories to focus on production for war efforts.
Imagine having to do that to beat a small nation like Ukraine.
They're not doing it to beat a small nation like Ukraine. They're doing it to beat Europe.
Good luck with that.
Ukraine was supposed to be the stepping stone. It was supposed to be quick, but Putin is still Putin.
Well, I think that Putin looked at Ukraine and looked at the fact that none of us are talking about Georgia and had kind of shrugged when Ukraine had a territory taken initially and thought it would be a quick war. What he didn't count on was, to be fair to Ukraine, they have now a combat-hardened military that very few in the world can compare to, man for man. Their numbers are dropping because that's what happens in war, but they've been fighting over Crimea for years. By the time Russian second invasion, they already had people ready to go. They had logistics in place. They had weapons. So the overwhelming numbers, if they could hold them back, weren't quite the benefit that would have been if they invaded someone that hadn't had that experience, which is what happened the first time when they invaded Crimea. But,
well, and this time they also had better technology than they had the first time because they got equipped by the West, by NATO.
I mean, also, I think people forget that Ukraine was a major industrial power in all of itself in the arms manufacturing industry, even back to the Soviet days. Now, I'm not saying that all of that is currently relevant, but they had also been developing a lot of their own base. Now, there's the force multipliers I think the West gave Ukraine that really were telling, the things like the M-laws.
They would have gotten run over if they hadn't had NATO hard.
Yeah, they had.
And part
really
of the problem
good,
that the only reason they got run over this summer is because lots of the allies couldn't get their shit together, frankly, and send over weapons. They were too busy politicking, and that's in multiple nations.
Hey, Bernie was asleep. Not Bernie, Biden. Biden was asleep, dude. He was taking a nap. He's old.
The thing is, it wasn't even him.
No, it wasn't. The U.S. hasn't been taking as active of a role because we have to deal with China, and we're helping Australia get geared up for that. Because that's coming too.
To be fair, the bill they passed, well, eventually got passed, it's the constant problem of people just randomly adding crap to bills, and also just we don't want one team on the internal politics of the country to be seen to be getting stuff done, which unfortunately means that nothing gets done. It's been the same in other nations as well. It also doesn't help that people don't understand that the aid that the US is handing out isn't dollars, it's equipment in the vast majority of cases, which means US companies are
doing it directly. We're letting other people buy it from us and send it there, is what it's coming down to.
Right, and also that weapons have a expiry date on them and cost money to keep testing. There is a point where it's better just to buy new anyway, and if you've got a stockpiles of masses of weapons and your ally needs weapons, you can effectively buy new weapons for yourself under the guise of giving aid to other countries, because you are giving aid, but it's not like money has left the US economy. Money is going to Raytheon, all the defense contractors, to build new of the things, and it also allows you to reconfigure your military as well, because you might have...
of stuff US hasn't been giving, like France has been giving a lot of stuff to Ukraine. France has been one of the biggest contributors. They're buying it all from America.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be a weapons manufacturer, both in the European and the US.
There we go. The AI is retreating. Start building.
Yeah, I still remember some people talking about, you should just invest in their stocks right when the war starts, because
Britain
gonna go massively up.
Britain and the US have been busy teaching Australians how to be submariners.
Yep.
And China's been getting more belligerent about their man-made islands being not being international water, because they built islands out in international water.
Yeah, I think Putin was also surprised that the West cared, because the West didn't care when he rang tanks straight into Georgia. He told him off sternly and then kept buying oil and gas from him. Which then let him fund more wars. And then was super surprised when they invaded the next person. And they didn't particularly care about Crimea, because instead of saying, a sovereign nation whose borders have been agreed for decades has been invaded by a third nation, they've been like, but Crimea was originally part of Russia, if we go back far enough, and it was kind of lost in a card game, so who cares? Like, it's an insane position to be in. It just shows how much propaganda works.
And giving a propaganda to
Knowledge
things.
is the key to the universe.
Sorry, sir?
And giving a propaganda at things. That's what propaganda is, right? When a British person takes a good look at something.
That was terrible. I did get it. just to let you know, that was on my level. I respect it, but I don't respect it.
It took me until just now to get what he said.
We are being hailed.
What can I say, Flanker? I learned from the worst.
Dirty, the reason that where the West cares more about Ukraine, frankly, is because, well, there's a few things. One of which, the reason that Russia cares about the rest of Ukraine, have a look at all of the required noble gases that the West needs for the electronics industry. Have a look at where a lot of the West previously got grain from and what that's done to grain prices and food prices globally. There's just been new discoveries, I believe, of oil and gas reserves that will be in Ukrainian waters. It's the old reasons. Takes the next door neighbor's natural resources. And also that Ukraine is broadly seen as a modern European nation, whether they're in the EU or not. That's funny, Brexis. I like it.
Yeah, Ukraine feeds a lot of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not anymore. They were.
Well, like the things that Ukraine was providing to the just looking Ukraine to UK, they provided rapeseed, which is used in rapeseed oil, canola oil for those elsewhere in the world, wire, loads of other seed oils, wheat, yeah, which might not be a vast amount in global terms to any individual country, but it was a vast amount combined that they were exporting. See you soon, Cody. Oh, and vast amounts of chemicals. And also a lot of engineers. As in computer developers. Or software developers, computer developers. Deary me. It'd be embarrassing if I worked in that industry.
And engineering.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They're great engineers, great developers. And like the impacts have been fairly wide-ranging. I've got friends in Ukraine, I've got friends in Belarus, or most of my friends that were in Belarus have managed to escape Belarus.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is and it isn't, because they've got out, because their lives are at threat. Their parents are still there.
Oh no.
Well, if you had to suddenly move country, you might be able to, if you have the skills to get elsewhere or have the ability to move your immediate family. The chance of getting your extended family somewhere, and then would you like to see your grandparents in a refugee camp or trying to get across the border somewhere while they sort of visa out? Would they survive that? And you're leaving modern nations. It's the reality is, and I've traveled to lots of countries, including Belarus, which like, they're all modern nations. So if your grandparents needed medical care from a particular specialist, are they going to find that specialist if they're going across the border into a refugee camp? Like, there is no one that wins from any of this other than a few strong men.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it is normally, isn't it?
Kind of, unfortunately, yes. I mean, you're not wrong, Deadsy, in terms of taking back what Putin sees as the given up Soviet realm. And I think that Putin has somewhat misjudged what the populace of those nations think of that idea.
Yeah, there's a good reason they split from the Soviets.
There's good reasons to have nation states that people are happy to live in, but the Soviet Union did collapse.
Yeah.
Hey, you stop that.
Oh. But he says among all this, what you should really be thinking about is going to go and check out the only Sliced One at twitch.tv/Sliced1. Playing some Helldivers too. Sly's been playing Helldivers and not come to play Helldivers with us.
Have you guys been playing Helldivers recently?
I haven't seen you.
I have.
Not for the last 3 weeks. Not since I went away on work.
That's inspiration.
If you ever want, I'd love to play with you sometime.
There is a Helldivers tag you can grab if you haven't already, my friend.
I have.
Cool.
Next time I'm playing, I'll tag
No, I don't.
the thing on Discord.
I am just waiting for them to fix their shit.
No.
Forced to use an
Language, sir, that's the second one for the stream. That is my sponsor agreement. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to fix the stuff so that you are forced with one account, basically. Because all my friends that don't have it can't play now at me, and it's kinda killing the mood.
You might want to go ahead and mute me, Flanker.
Well, I don't need to mute you. I just need to speak over you by saying you should go and check out Sliced One at twitch.tv/Sliced One because Deadsy is troll.
Is Tolma in chat?
Yes.
It's better that one with the Wednesday CK3 we do. And that one Asian guy came in for the one session and he blew out your thing in about 5 seconds of joining the Discord.
Yeah, it's like everyone goes, "Oh yeah, I read the stream rules." And you're like, "I bet you haven't." It's the first 3 seconds.
Tolma, what's your plans for the Trackporian League of Systems directly to your west?
It's like, god dang, guys, you just need to watch your language.
You're talking about the league systems?
There's Drakporian League of Systems between me and Tolmat is what he's asking.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's currently physically his ally.
Oh.
I don't care.
Yeah, you don't care, but it's currently your ally. It's more like...
I'm going to go raiding. So I'm looking for targets, and they're the nearest AI, I believe.
Raid them all you want. If you beat them down, that'll make it easier to... They might peaceably become my vassal.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
Sounds good to me.
And then you can consume them.
It'd be nice though, if you could raid in this game like you can in CK3.
I think that sounds nice. I think the in practice it would just be really frustrating because I would do it to you constantly.
I'd make it exclusive to Vados.
Yeah, I mean, there is kind of the barbaric despoilers already.
Yeah, and the problem with that is it requires you waste a civic point for it, and it's just really not worth it.
Yeah.
Because with how like raiding works at the moment, you're best off just taking the planet.
Yeah, but that's why I would say add a raiding mechanic for
Yeah.
the barbaric despoilers.
I agree. Like pretty much any system would be better than the current system.
Yeah, it's kind of more like role playing for that, if anything. If you want to like.
Yeah, that's because I want to roleplay like a sort of empire, like the Marauder ones, the AI ones. But you can do it, but there's just no point because, like I say, it's so inefficient. You're better off just taking the planets.
Unless you're going for a one-planet challenge, in which case it can be pretty efficient.
Are you gonna finish that war, Cookie?
I am just waiting for the last planet people to die out so I can take it over. Yeah, they're under my limit now. Alright.
So you have almost twice the number of army.
Last I checked, they had 160. And now they only
Well,
have...
I was being nice and pointing out that they're ready.
Awesome. Thank you, Physical. Now that we got the commercial pack going, make our economies look better.
I checked to make sure that you weren't ruthless before I said yes to that. I don't want you increasing crime on my planets.
No, I'm not crime related.
Like 3 empires away from me is asking me for a non-aggression pact. Okay, sure.
And they're dead. Alright, Bleed. You need to head home for repairs. Need second, throw commander in there. Free. You're free. Alright. Dragon goes to you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm getting refugees. A bunch of them, too.
We just finished wiping out those bad guys. The purifiers. You're probably getting the last of them.
Cool.
I just wiped out the not so nice people that we did not want.
I also got 25 intel on Cookie.
And now I'm minus bread thingy, so I need to make another bread factory. Make another bread factory here. Species. Build this one further up. How's my operation doing?
Ooh, perfect. I got an asset for sparking diplomatic incidents with that AI empire.
Alright, second fleet go home. Currently mass expanding. Having 3 planets in growth. Well, 5 with the 2 I conquered.
I think my mass is expanding after going sweetie shopping yesterday with Plan.
That's different mass expanding. Yeah, I am merely invading some planet's colony ship. Lol. Okay. Why can I propose subjugation to physics?
Because it's weird.
Because we're neighbors.
Because you're stronger, you're neighbors, and he's a player.
I can do a proposal subjugation to you.
Oh, that, yes.
You just have to have trust at 50 or above for diplomatic subjugation. It doesn't even have to be which one of you is stronger.
I am lacking 75 influence to vassalize the guy above me.
Remember, one vassal.
Yeah, this is basically the one guy in the corner that goes nowhere. And if I vassalize him, he will be no problem to anyone. He's a spiritual seeker.
Oh, he started with an arc furnace too.
Exactly. And I probably can, from vassalizing him, I can consume him and become me. My confederation, if that's still a thing.
Investments in the future. Considering that gives me a whole 0.2 energy credits right now to build that, but it's mostly so I don't forget later.
I'm losing
it's
21 influence.
It's a reasonable thing to do, I find, with the
Well, was that an AI that got it?
Yup.
Oh, was that the Galactic market? Oh, okay.
The
where'd
heck
it go?
is being made on that planet?
The guys below the civilian union.
Not even all that much is being made on the
Yeah.
planet. And there's a bunch
They're-
of crime and a bunch of unemployment. It's
They're
just an awful planet.
spiritualists.
It's one of those
Spiritual, I
crimes
guess.
bribing the authorities to get the galactic market.
I
No,
had
I'm
500.
invested.
I had 513 trade value, and I did the max investment on my capital, and it still failed.
Yeah, they need
It's-
to fix it, quite frankly.
It seems like it's bugged, or it's either bugged or the randomness factor in the calculation is way too high. I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I mean,
Or you
I
all
don't
just
think-
aren't worthy.
I know they don't want to like make it entirely binary on who gets it, but we have someone with 500 trade value on a planet that's done the max investment on it. I feel like it should kind of guarantee it comparatively to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and that they are a spiritualist empire as well, if I'm reading that correctly. It seems
I mean-
a little strange that they get
Why?
the Galactic market.
Oh, who won it?
Anyone can have Galactic Market.
Yeah, but who did win it?
The people below me, below the civilian union.
Where the heck is Ryan?
If you open up the market, you can click on who the leader is.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Clearly, we need to blow up the planet, so they have to revote.
Oh,
They
that
have
guy.
5 commercial packs.
I mean, I have like, oh, that's a 30 ocean world that he's on.
With crime,
he started out as an ocean. He started out ocean. Yes.
Yeah, but as a I would so want that planet.
Just a heads up, the 00 are Tolmat's main trading partner.
Which one? The 001 nation?
Well,
Yeah.
if they pick a fight with Cookie, there won't be any more. I'm not looking to take out Tolmart's people, but
I mean, they are picking a fight with me.
Cookie's talking about
Research concluded.
vassalizing the keepers of Avalon above them.
Yeah, that's
not the Galactic 00.
No, those I'm gonna eat when they war deck me.
The Galactic 00 are rivaling Cookie and building up forces on the border.
And I have claims on all their territory now that they became super hostile on me before I did that.
Yeah, to be fair, Cookie was talking about taking both of them, so.
Sorry.
I just appreciate not everyone's looking at stream chat or in-game chat, so I'm mentioning it because it being mentioned.
Yeah, the players are
Research concluded.
Two small pockets of players. There's only AIs in the southeast.
Yup. If only we could nuke the southeast.
You can.
I don't think
Yeah,
people in Kent will be happy about it, though.
I mean, it's already so hot in Florida. I don't think they'd notice a difference.
They wouldn't
Council
notice there's
agenda
already
available.
radiation there from the sun.
What's flying through physics space currently? Looks. Oh, that's the trading fleet. Must be the trading fleet. I do not know this yet.
Yeah, it's the Vengeralian Trium, whatever you pronounce it.
So that's a Corvette. That's our Corvettes. Those ships look actually cool.
It looks like 5 battleships, 9-ish destroyers, and 1 Corvette.
Yeah, it says 1 Corvette, 10 destroyers, and 10 battleships. 6 battleships.
Looks like, well, no, it's only 3, so it must be cruisers, but. They're selling deodorizing spray this time around.
Sounds like something Flanker could use.
Wow.
Yeah, but his gameplay stinks, not him himself.
Exactly. Hobo gets it.
Look, it is getting warm enough now that I'm literally in the background clearing out space for the air conditioner. So
Sounds like a Flanker.
I should do that.
Yeah, I went outside earlier today and it was pretty warm out there here in Portsmouth. For UK standards. Rather warm. Uncomfortably so.
also a reminder that the UK is not built for heat. UK heat is not like desert heat, is not like heat elsewhere in the world that I've been that have been very warm because they have built for it. Just kind of sucks here.
So Florida,
if air conditioning hadn't been invented, pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I still remember living in the
so Florida in winter.
Pretty
Still
much.
remember the northern forested swamps of New England. Well, not actual swamps, but like really moist forest with dense, damp underbrush.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You're adequately describing my surroundings.
Thing is, the UK is pretty lucky all in all because we don't tend to get that warm. The problem is climate change, and we are getting warmer on an ongoing basis, and none of our housing stock is built for it. And we're still building new houses exactly the same way because, hey,
if it
king
works,
reasons,
don't
I
king
guess.
reasons.
Yeah, the one good thing about this, like,
it's worked for what, 100 years now? Why change it?
Yeah. One good thing about this 60-year-old American cardboard building that I'm in is at least it has central heating and AC.
From you.
Oh, we've got central heating down, although a lot of our housing is older than your country. Our problem is that it really isn't. We don't have aircon, and a lot of the style of our housing doesn't allow for you to install aircon easily. Like sash windows aren't really a thing across most of the UK for window units. A lot of UK older housing can be single skinned buildings, like stone buildings, or dual skin brick built. They're not really built for the sort of circulation, like there's no undercroft that you would have in like the US, for example, to help with cooling. So it's yes. And because a lot of our housing in major cities is what were 2 up, 2 down terraced housing, which means 2 rooms downstairs, 2 rooms upstairs that have been extended a bit. There's a lot of them facing directly onto the street. There isn't like a very large percentage of housing doesn't have the ability to add air conditioning in a sensible way.
I seriously doubt the average UK citizen is living in a house that's 200 and something years old.
You're speaking to one.
There's a lot of 200-year-old houses.
Flanker, you're not average.
I'm well below average. I know, don't worry. But like the problem is that building style has not changed over.
Well, I'm not saying
years.
style. I'm not saying style. I'm saying the age of the actual building.
An alien nation is hailing us.
Because you said houses in the UK are older than my country.
Yeah, there are a percentage of houses that are significantly older than your country.
Guess what? We built houses the same way you all did back then, and none of those are still around.
See, all of ours are because you still have Boston. There's older parts of that you have not done for freeways.
The style is the same, but they've all been overhauled, gutted, and rebuilt.
Nobody likes Boston.
I do. I really like how people drive, okay? They actually care about traffic, and they want to get traffic cleared out as quick as possible.
Yeah, because they know that one of the few things that they could do is to be better than New York is not have their people get road rage like New York.
True.
So, as a comparator, 38% of the UK's housing stock was built prior to 1946. So there is because obviously there have been building booms post-war, but even with
that's still not 300. That's still not older than my country.
Are you denying there are houses in the UK that are older than your country?
You said most UK people live in houses older than my country.
Okay.
I'm going off what you said.
Most do not. However, a large percentage still do, bud.
Like a solid 10%.
Well, there's still houses here that are older than my country.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. It's a housing stock problem. It's not a slight on the US. It's a lot of your building has been done. So the UK has some of the oldest housing stock overall even in newer housing, there's 78% of UK homes were built before 1980, which, if you're looking at even like modern build homes, that is an older style of house, which will compare it, if you looked at and compare it to the US, what percentage of housing of your overall housing stock was built. In fact, I'll see if I can pull the figures. Let's find out. But the problem is the more densely populated small inner city areas that are older housing stock, because there is nowhere for them to go.
Oh, boy.
No one's buying them up and redeveloping them. Mainly because you can't make money from it.
Makes sense.
So 20% of UK housing is over 100 years old. That's 5.8 million homes. I'm trying to see if I can pull it further. And I'm also trying to pull the US housing stats as well.
US housing stats are probably harder to find because people don't want to report on how shit or on how horrible our housing situation
No,
is.
the stat I'm looking for is the age of the housing stock itself versus the condition, because those are two very different things. Nope, that's age of people in. Maybe it is right. I'm just trying. There's not a quite a simpler stat, but age of owner-occupied housing stock varies greatly. New York has the oldest owner-occupied housing with a median age of 62 years, as in the building's age is 62 years. That's an interesting map. So yeah, the average, the worst case scenario for the US in terms of the average property age, is 60 odd years in New York specifically. There are no other states that look quite as old. And again, New York has the same problem that most cities in the UK do. That it was already densely populated, so it's not very worthwhile to tear down buildings to put new ones up unless it's a commercial building you're changing use on, or there's a lower density area that you can get air rights to.
Oh wait, that was them. Okay, whatever. I am now a subject.
Sorry, you're now a subject?
Yeah, I might have
We
messed up.
misread the deal.
Yup.
So, we kill Ryan.
We are being hailed.
Or you get, or I pledge secret fealty to one of you.
Clearly, this is the long con of him destroying them from the inside.
Here's a depressing stat for you. England has far fewer dwellings relative to its population than other developed nations we consider peers, with 434 homes per 1,000 inhabitants, significantly below France 590, Italy 587, and the OECD average of 487. And it also has the oldest housing in Europe, with 78% of all homes being built prior to 1980. An EU average is 61%, and 38% of the UK's homes were built before 1946, compared to a EU average of 18%. And a lot of that is explained by UK politics deciding to not allow local authorities to keep building houses after the 1980s. And we also got rid of rent controls.
Sounding a lot like the US.
Yeah, don't worry. We either are ahead of you on a few things on the bad ideas front, or taking lessons and taking some of the worst parts of the policy.
We take lessons from each other on bad ideas. Like we
really do. We need to stop.
We took big lessons. We took major lessons from you on how to do imperialism
and slavery.
Yeah, we learned from.
Hey, hang on. The UK is certainly not blameless, but were the enforcers of the sea freeing slaves and paid for slaves to be.
What year? When did that start?
Too late.
I don't know the exact year, so I'm backing off on the exact year. But when did that
17. I will go check because
I think you need to start with 18, not 17.
Maybe.
One moment. Sorry, 1807.
I know. You need to start with 18, not 17.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's 1807. It was the abolition of the slave trade, and the Slavery Abolition Act was then a follow-up piece of legislation in 1834. The UK was still paying until I think within the last few years for the reparations that were made to slave owners. Unfortunately, not the right people.
Yeah.
But yes, France followed suit in 1848.
Yep, and the U.S. fought 2 wars to end it.
Who was to end slavery?
Yep, Civil War, but before that, the Barbary Pirates War.
I don't know about that war.
It's in the Marine Corps hymn, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. The shores of Tripoli. In fact, the U.S. Navy was built to end Barbary pirates, to end slavery.
Ah, that's neat.
And piracy.
But I think slavery was probably the most industrialized, like, how do I put it? America probably did slavery the most brutally efficiently. Emphasis on brutally.
Neither efficiently nor the most brutally.
Really? Okay.
Just the most publicly, especially nowadays.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like at the height of slavery, after France and the UK got out of it, and they were so there was no way to get new slaves. That's when they went to breeding slaves into the U.S. Before that, the only way to get slaves was from Dutch or English traders. But as far as the numbers of slaves, about 500,000 slaves came to the U.S. at a time when I don't remember the exact numbers. It was several million. It might have been 10 million slaves came to the Americas.
I saw a really interesting. There was a really interesting comment section to a TikTok recently.
I think those really
No Virtue
do
harm. Welcome, No Virtue. If you're not already following No Virtue, you definitely should do a twitch.tv/No Virtue. They are an awesome streamer. You'll find loads of their content super interesting. Great Stellaris player. If you want to see how to play Stellaris properly, that's where you head. And I was playing some Stellaris.
Games, but I'm playing these weekly games.
I lost an official.
We have encountered spaceborne life forms.
Where'd you last put him?
As far as I know, I only have 2 officials. One of them is running my governor, and the other one is in the Senate. Oh,
I am the Senate.
My main ruler died.
Oh, yeah, of course you were playing Old World as well. We can see if an AI can take over one of the slots. I think we might be one short, but we will be starting in 2 hours, No Virtue. Because
Virtue playing Old World with you? That's
yes. Cool. So Old World was at... Golf with Your Friends is next at 8, which is in 55 minutes, and an hour and 55 is Old World.
I hate all these spams from other nations that don't affect me.
I just see them and right click them.
Yeah, as you look around the world, there was a discussion about nations that had colonized other nations. And people are, oh, well, my country hasn't. You're like, there are very few nations on Earth that the people of those nations, or the nations themselves, or their predecessors, haven't been involved in taking over their neighbours' land, colonizing, fighting wars. None of it excuses anything, but it is something that has been happening since the dawn of time, that mankind be utter to each other.
Yeah, to point fingers at this point is you get nowhere.
Yeah, if you're still doing it, then we have a problem. Outside of that,
and there's still if you want still talk about slavery, there are more slaves today now than there was in the height of the slave trade.
Well, there's significantly higher percentage world population than then as well.
That's not an excuse.
Oh, it's no excuse for the continuing prevalence of slavery, but.
And when you talk about the height, there was what I was said. I don't remember the exact number,
We
but
are being
like 10
hailed.
million. That's a larger population than some countries.
Are those even real countries then?
That's the kind of talk that gets people to start buying slaves.
Right. It's one of the reasons I'm so annoyed about the current UK government policy. Well, sorry, the current proposal from the UK's Conservative Party for a national service introduction, because it's not rooted in anything other than we've blamed immigrants and we failed to stop them. We've blamed the EU. We're not in the EU anymore. Young people, yeah, screw those guys. Blaming the other always ends poorly. Always. Throughout history. Every time. And the fact that the other is your own children is ridiculous. But yeah, there's currently a discussion about, we should reintroduce national service. The older generation did it, and it's popular with people that are over 60 in polling.
Who don't have to do it.
Yeah, people that don't have to do it and didn't have to do it. And there were no hippies in the 60s. Because, everyone during the 60s was hardworking and worked in banks at the age of 18, right? There wasn't a cultural movement in the 60s and 70s at all in the UK where that phrase, those bloody hippies, comes from. I mean, I don't know.
But also, keep in mind, people who are 60, all the time, their kids also won't have to do it. Because they're old.
Their grandkids will, though.
Yeah, but they care less about their grandkids than their immediate kids.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know that anyone's actually thought any of it through.
Oh, no, they haven't.
Because it's more right-wing politics in the UK that the background is the Conservative Party are about to lose an election. If the polling figures came true, they would become the third party in the UK, which is they have not been for.
Third?
Yeah. Now I don't think it will happen quite that way, because I think unfortunately a lot of people are looking at Labour thinking, cool, another centre-right government. And Labour were historically the left of the UK politics, or one of the left parties of the UK politics, and they've become more centrist, become more electorable, and are now spouting some of the same right-wing BS that they should not be. But the Conservatives are worried that their vote is going to split between a party the Conservative Party and more right-wing parties like Reform, which is what it is kind of the spiritual successor to the UK Independence Party. And the dog whistling is loud. So to still stop that, they try and appeal to those fringes of the right wing of the Conservative Party, because a lot of Conservative Party voters are centrist, but they try and appeal to the older right wing of their party, which is more right wing than the standard position of the Conservatives, and policies that blame the other do well with people because it's simple answers to complicated questions. Oh, it was definitely Europe. Oh, it's the migrants on the boats. It's the young people not doing their bit. And all the people that are being targeted and the people who are popular with the policy, anyone that is not male and 80 or older has never completed national service in the UK, which is forced national service. And when we did it last time, 379, I believe, died because they were sent to war zones, and it went from 1 year of national service and it will be good for them and it will just be some training to 2 years of national service and here's some war zones for you.
Wow. Yeah, my thought on it as well is there's a whole thing about the social contract, right? Where if the government's asking young people to do things and give up their time, they should be, providing services and opportunities. And I mean, you could argue that there's valuable experience from whatever this national scheme would be for the young people. But, it just seems to be the sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you. And the social contract is meant to be A, a two-way thing, and B, to apply to all. So, if we're voting for national service, let's vote for national service, and I should be going as well. So should everyone. Yeah. If we're not voting for national service, then let's not pretend that we're just blaming kids for a problem that they're going to have a far harder time than previous generations, because unfortunately the direction of travel in the UK currently is the standard of living is dropping, not increasing, and the chance of owning a home is getting significantly worse, not better. And instead of taking policies that would, like new towns that we used to build post-war, Glenrothes is an example of that, Milton Keynes is an example of that. There's quite a few others around the UK. Lots of garden cities are examples of that we just built an entire new town. Glenrothes for the overflow from Glasgow, but others around the country for other things. Like those were all social housing as well in Glenrothes. Every one of them was social housing. So we could solve the problem. We're choosing not to. And what's really grating is the people that are being targeted to vote for this have either not understood or have just given up pretending Brexit was a good idea, because the EU does funding around Europe for all nations using the nation's money or to level up areas that are struggling, and they have a longer time horizon. I'm not saying all their projects have been good or bad, just that exists. So they would do things like invest in education in the South Wales valleys or invest in new industry or something as grants around the EU as part of if everyone's living a good standard of living, there's less likely to be conflict between nations. What the UK did was they set up a levelling up fund, which sounds great, that was going to continue funding these projects. It was a lot smaller than the EU was doing. It was 1.5 billion. This national service policy, they are taking that money away as part of it. 40% of the funding is completely uncosted. It's magical finding tax that we didn't know existed before, which they haven't done for 14 years. So whenever someone says that, it's magic money. Unless they're saying, I will introduce a tax on this, anything else is magic money. It doesn't exist. And the rest of it is coming from all of those things that they were going to say, oh, we'll definitely invest in all these seaside towns, all the former industrial areas. That money's gone. They want to do it to force young people to be in the armed forces for a year, or force them to volunteering in charity shops, because what are charities going to do with 25 days over 1 year of a young person's time? Because you can't train them as a first, like they were, oh, the St. John's Ambulance will do it. I don't think anyone asked St. John's Ambulance. They want a multi-year commitment for at least a few days every month to train you as a first aider, because it takes time and money, and they want you to go and do events and do things with your time. 25 days means you'll go and work retail. And what do these people currently do, these same young people? They work friggin' retail. So what does it teach them? Such a crap policy.
There are policies that I like. For example, the ROTC program.
System survey concluded.
It's a good program. It should be expanded to include stuff like lawyers, judges, and probably medical care when we nationalize healthcare. But yeah, like one of the major problems in America is we don't have enough judges, or we don't have enough lawyers to run cases. So we should use the program to make it possible.
I genuinely don't have enough knowledge about that program.
What?
I think a lot of people would say we have too many judges and lawyers in America. We need to cut down on the litigation.
No, we have too many corporate lawyers.
Yeah, and they take time. That those are lawyers, and they take judges to mediate or to oversee cases and, or arbitrate. It's still it all filters into the same stuff.
We have judges.
Daft, if you would look in the Valmar system for a moment.
Valmar.
Yeah, the one at the top of those systems you told me to take.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I don't seem to have vision in the system. I can see where it is on the map. Did our treaty run out? I thought it was like 20 years or something. Is there something happening there which you want me to look at? Oh, thank you.
But also, an ROTC program similar program for lawyers would require them to be defense lawyers for a significant amount of time, just like pro bono defense lawyers. But we certainly have
sorry
overworked
to talk
defense
over you, Ryan. Yeah, I just see what Tolga was talking about in the system. Is a rather large space beastie is just hatched out of one of the planets, so it's actually an egg, I assume.
Yep.
Wow. I've never seen that before. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even colonized it yet, and now it's gonna kill my...
Oh, it's hostile to you.
Oh, voice spawn. Yeah. So that one, it's like the Galactic omelet usually, but it can just. Oh no, it's the one where there's like tremors in the Earth, and then it'll eventually just burst out of the planet.
Yep.
That one's funny.
It usually happens after you colonize it, though.
Yeah.
Just happened on its own.
Oof.
Gotta go pee, I'll be right back.
I did ask someone, Daft, to explain the difference between slavery and compulsory volunteering. And forced labour. Though it's not forced labour. It will teach it, and it will teach them some love of country. Yeah, because the first thing you think when you're forced to do something is, oh, I really like the person that's forcing me to do this. Like, if we want to say that we want to force days of volunteering on everyone, then it should be part of the tax code. Let everyone do it. Like, if I, over the course of that, oh, well, 18-year-olds don't pay tax. Well, no, but they do take out, for example, if you go to university, about £10,000 to £15,000 worth of debt a year, which they have to pay back to the state. They do pay for any taxes other than council tax. They don't pay that if you're a full-time student, but you do pay all the other payroll taxes you would pay on your earnings. You are limited to the number of hours you'll work if you stick to the guidelines provided by universities. If you're an immigrant worker in the UK or an immigrant student, So you're only allowed to work 20 hours a week, of which this will take, in your first year of university, a chunk of 8 hours out of every one of those weeks. A chunk of 8 hours out of every 2-week period. Because I think it's 25 days. And it doesn't solve the army problem either, whether people aren't volunteering in the army. Well, maybe we should spend some more money on equipping the army with the equipment they need, improving barracks and homes, and build some new houses. And everyone that serves in the armed forces, if you serve over a certain term, you're getting mortgage payments effectively towards a house that we will guarantee you at the end of service, and provide a full mental health care afterwards.
So basically,
on the
higher pay
NHS.
if you do it all.
Yeah, well, higher pay is actually pretty ineffective. It's good if you are at a pay level that is not attractive at all, but pay rises, historically, don't help. They help a bit. If you are on the breadline, they help a lot, but they don't actually help recruitment because everyone else puts pay up as well. So it's the benefits that go with it, the risk reward. So, by all means, pay them more. It's just not an effective recruitment tool. Unless they're being paid significantly more. But guaranteed housing is. And also providing better transition. There are loads of incredibly talented people that come out of the armed force in the UK. But they've also spent the best part of their working life working in a particular structure in a particular way that isn't done outside. So it's hard to find employment. So providing employment support as well as guaranteeing, and to be honest, I would say anyone that served in the military, they're multiple tours that you would expect to be on average. You should just give them a frigging house. They've done their bit for the country. Social contract.
This would also likely result in veterans towns, which can foster a really good community because they all have a shared experience.
I mean, it definitely helps. By the way, that shared experience thing is really funny because that's when people talk all over the world. This isn't picking on anyone in particular, but let's use the UK as an example. When people talk about, immigrants came over to our town and now there's parts of the town that speak a particular language. Yeah, you're right. Because if you were choosing to move to another country, let's say Thailand, and you were... or, in the case of the UK, let's say Spain, because the English wouldn't do this. You would move to an enclave where you had some of the home comforts. If there was an area that did great, British food, or some of the brands you'd like from back home, you are more likely to move there. If your family has moved to a particular area of another country, you're more likely to move there. That doesn't mean they're trying to take over that part of the town. It means that they're already going through a difficult time moving country and probably want their family nearby if they're moving over, or probably want to have some home comforts. That's why in the UK in major cities you'll see Polish shops, and depend on where at what point in history. There are some parts of the UK that have had huge Polish populations since the Second World War. They are more likely, if you are a Polish immigrant looking to move today, or less likely now because we're not in the EU, but if you were looking to emigrate to the UK, you're more likely to go somewhere that has some of those home comforts and has some people that will help you that have gone through the same experience before.
I think I just found the freaking story of the Curator Order.
Oh, cool.
Apparently, this is their home planet, or at least their ancestors' home planet, Frigate 1. They created a swarm of microorganisms capable of multiplying rapidly, but instead of giving them everlasting life, it started devouring any organic matter. The resulting cataclysm wiped out much of their population, and their species splintered into two groups. The group that we know as the Curator Order took to the stars and bombarded their homeworld, leaving nothing on the surface. The other group went underground in an attempt to preserve their civilization, and eventually perished because the microorganisms found a way into their home.
You mean there are no just good guys in the universe.
How weird.
System survey concluded.
That's interesting to know, actually.
Okay, I'm a machine hive mind, and I'm getting my migration from Alavonians onto one of my planets. And they're just going straight into grid amalgamation slavery. I don't know why they're coming to me.
They want to join your grid.
Theodem says, of course they're good guys. Look at us. We're definitely the... Okay, well, maybe not us, but... right?
But why are they coming to me? I don't even know where they're coming from.
Why'd you drop them as a subject, Cookie?
Oh, look at this.
Because I thought it was them that were leaking all my material.
I couldn't hear
Oh
you.
my god!
Fighting back.
Oh my god! There was a revolt and they all joined Corbin.
That's kind of funny to think about.
Yeah, that's cool. There were actually 2 revolts. One of them.
I hope Corbin's watching that his empire is actually making a resurgence and not just going off into the dustbin of history.
Okay, I just found a problem with my build. Aggregation systems makes farmers and miners produce nanites. I don't have any farmers or miners.
Yeah, but
You need to make some.
you need the extra nanite?
Yeah, I'm doing
I think
nanites.
he's conquered most of their
Doing
systems.
nanotech.
You can also subsume entire planets for nanites.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think one of them's the virtual, one's a liquid metal focus, and one's the nanite focus for the
Yeah.
previous
Living metal, by the way, but yes.
Yeah, living metal.
Basically, virtual is also
Whatever.
dark matter.
Ah.
Can the nanite research facilities be upgraded? Oh no, they just give a ton of research. That's amazing. Well, a ton of physics research, anyways. Ooh, nanite harvester looks good. Oh my god, nanite harvester is gonna work so well with my arc furnaces.
Porter wants 10 years of active sensor link. Sure.
Ooh, that's showing me a lot of stuff I didn't realize I'd be able to see.
Does anyone need alloys for a war? Oh wait, I know who needs alloys.
I need influence.
Physics
You can
needs
give me
alloys.
influence. I'd take it.
Corbin needs alloys.
The more branch officers I have, the better I'll be.
I'm doing all right. I've got my economy going now.
Yeah, well...
That reminds me, Herbert, I should probably pay back for alloys you sent me ages ago.
What if I told you I have ample alloys still? But
Oh, well.
I won't
We powered that.
say no on the investment. The fine precious metals put away in our banks. That way, if war happens all around us, don't worry, we'll keep all of your money safe.
After the last one.
You see, Flanker, I'll become one of your devs only if you just let me study all of the things that are happening for like 4 months, so that way I can actually learn on the job.
Yeah, if we start looking for junior devs and they're remote, and
I would probably need to remind myself just how to even code a hello world, so...
yeah, as a former developer, that used to literally be my job. Yeah, I don't... I would no longer consider myself a developer.
That, talked about coding hello worlds and stuff.
I tried once, but somehow the class managed to teach everything except the most common coding languages.
I started in God, what was it? Racket or something? No, that was actually I think that was actually a good one. It was some really bad programming language.
Thing is, there's not really bad programming languages. There's just some that aren't used as much in industry, and that changes a lot. So, like, I was taught to code on Lisp, which wasn't because there was a vast need in industry for Lisp. And Lisp does still exist. It does still have some industrial uses. There are versions of it that are still around. But it's because it was teaching you the basics and structure of code. So having learnt one, you could then potentially understand that although the schema may change, the structure and the way to think about coding something doesn't really between languages. That is a massively broad statement. I can't wait for someone to message me back about.
Objects. It teaches you almost nothing about objects, which is one of the most important things in programming.
I guess it depends is the answer.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, as with all programming.
I first learned to, well, technically
System
I first learned
survey
to code with
concluded.
BASIC, like way back. But at college I learned Pascal, it's a programming language. I don't know if that's still a thing. It's quite easy to learn. It's not too dissimilar from BASIC. Yeah, I remember learning how to do that.
Yeah,
it's interesting because it could only output to, like really old DOS programs would have just a basic text interface, which is like so many columns and so many rows of characters it could output, and that was basically what you were limited to.
Delphi's still used, which is for Windows applications, which is kind of an offshoot of Pascal. But Pascal was widely used to teach people programming, the same as Lisp was. just probably a more modern version, because like when I did Lisp programming, it was DOS stuff that you were building with it.
I learned programming in QW Basic.
Oh, wow. That's rough. I did learn assembly at one point, which was pretty cool. I think assembly, well, learning how to interact with assembly is pretty cool.
I haven't considered myself a programmer since the 90s. Before the 90s. QW Basic. In the 90s, I could program my calculator.
Yeah, it didn't help that my professor was probably about as old as Flanker, let's be honest here.
I did program my calculator. I kicked out of AP Calc for it.
I doff my cap, sir.
The thing that I remember most from my classes is not anything that I was taught, but at least once every 2 or 3 classes, the professor would end up rambling into one of his war stories where he coded logistics for Desert Storm in Cobalt.
Wow. I heard a story about how a student got so good at programming the calculator that they were able to program it to show the memory cleared line, which all the students would have to show the teacher before every test.
Oh. Sneaky.
Indeed. Cheated on every test, but was probably still the smartest person in the class for it.
Also say Cobalt is still current. 2023 was his last stable release. I was just having a look.
Yeah, and then the best he taught was Python and JavaScript. Not even like...
I had a lecturer for Java that it was a lovely guy, but had a monotone voice and all of the interpersonal skills you would imagine a developer has. And he just, like, literally sent people to sleep almost every lesson. I was just, even if you were passionate about it, having someone talk to you at this pace and not really explain the problems for 4 hours is, well, there's lots of things you could do with that time instead. Like,
programming lessons to fall asleep to.
Yeah. There says my first programming experience was basic on an MSX. Nice.
Doesn't help that I'm an absolutely terrible learner on anything that I can't work with in my hands in a realistic way.
Tomat spawned the system, it looks like.
Oh, Tomat spawned the system?
Oh, well, what system?
Class G star, no clue what's in it, so can't see.
I did notice it lagged for a second there. But yeah, it's not enough for me to be able to learn something in a realistic way. I need to learn it with actual experience. Like, just coding something because a book tells me I can't learn it. Coding something because it would actually be doing something at the end of it, I would actually be able to be invested and keep it in my brain state.
Cyberx in front of me?
Yep, he did. And also, that's the reason that for development, typically you want to build a portfolio. Because otherwise, there's literally no one on this earth that learns well by reading a book and just having some theory. That's not how learning works. You need something that you're going to output, whether that is a game, whether that is a website for a friend, whatever, depending on the language you're doing and what you're building. But that is genuinely true of everyone. So wouldn't be disheartened by it, but the solution, unfortunately, is go build something. or come up with a project. Like most of my work experience has been from someone saying, "This is a problem, go solve it." So find a problem that you want to try and solve and go solve it. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be, that you want to cheat in AP Calc physics, and you need to build a calculator for it.
Hey, I didn't cheat. When I programmed the formula, you could answer that question left, right, front for any of the variables. When I programmed a formula, I definitely knew those formulas. I even programmed a menu.
It's why the whole thing. It's the whole thing about finding like a lazy person to program stuff. Is that they want to find a way of doing something repeatably, so they're not having to do the task over and over again. That's where that joke comes from. It is a genuinely impressive achievement, physics, by the way. Wasn't actually knocking it.
and she kicked me out of the class. I went to programming class, and I had to teach class because the one we had was. But anyway, and then after the next test went through, she gave all my formulas to the entire class. All my programs,
Wow.
I mean.
Later.
And of course, she had to call mom.
Oh, that's uncalled for.
Yeah. My mom's a high school math teacher, so they of course knew each other.
I was a generally pretty terrible student. I was more because of good fortune on my part that I had parents who were interested in educating their kids. And so I spent a lot of my school knowing the thing we were already working on, which meant that I put less and less effort in. Until one day I didn't know the thing that we were doing and had to suddenly find some effort from somewhere to put in. And yes.
Not Tolman. What is it? Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Little Black Wolf.
Yeah.
What are your resources looking like?
Currently, with that 3k food, my food is fine. I'm currently on a minus 20 food. And my consumer goods are nearly empty on a minus 8.
5 months to cruisers.
It was a minus 50 last month. And a minus 100 on food on last month.
Yeah. Sending you some.
I was a
I
terrible.
can't believe I just had to buy one of my own people off the slave market. How did any of my people get on the slave market?
Thing is, I had 4 situations happen at the same time, and it wanted full tilt modes, gas and rare, and now one of the planets is revolting, and I don't know why. I mean, from 0 to 100, devastation was out of randomness, and then stability on 2 planets dropped to like non-existence. Even one of the planets I just colonized. And that made me stop taking my research points for the Cybrex to pop.
So what you're saying is Tomat did something to your game. He cheated so that he could get the Cybrex first. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Cybrex was not a really important thing then. It was more like everything was going down drain within a second while I was researching my last 2 parts for Cybrex.
Oh. Tomat, I would like to survey the Cyberwork system before you colonize it. I'm sending a science ship over now.
I guess that one right over there is the Cybrex. It says connected to both of you. No, that's no.
What even caused this
Okay.
this devastation on my second planet that I colonized? My second biggest planet that I've made.
Probably a random event.
Yeah, but 100% devastation?
Yeah, that'll happen from some random events. It's awful.
Which planet is it?
It was Serbak. It's currently on 55 devastation. But it was 100.
Terror victims.
Yeah, that came with even that came with this current situation.
Exhausted deposits.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
Oh, there we go. Cruisers.
You do that unemployed. I have several jobs.
Thanks for making me feel like I'm behind on tech, because honestly, I probably am. And again, you're a robot.
What's technology?
Why are
It's the thing that makes the catapults work.
Why are you on the 50 ability? You're just a colonized planet, fresh from get-go.
Did you hit 0 on a resource for too long?
No, I have not touched 0 on any resource yet. I was close to hitting 0 on food at some point, but then that's when I bought food.
Man, I didn't realize that I was actually doing that bad. I have less points in the Senate in technology than Flanker does. Well, that's a skill.
Flanker, who hasn't done anything for 2 sessions because he's blocked in. Yeah.
Well, I'd like
and
to
also
remind you
completely
that
lacks skills.
I like to remind you that I got blocked in within the first session.
Same.
Research concluded.
So you know how
Yeah, me too.
I hear an
I
awful
just
lot.
have a bit more space than most.
Right? Including from me. Life's hard, man.
I just had to sell all my resources just to be able to afford my own people back off the slave market because they cost 7,200 each.
Wow. Valuable.
I don't know what's so valuable about my people. They just swim well.
Well, look, the Schmeeples had extensive costs in liberating them. That humanitarian work doesn't come for free.
Yeah.
Oh, can I join the ape? The apes faction? My leader looks like a human.
Species is very much not apes.
I realised I can't actually join now. There's not a sleeping person next to me.
What'd you say, Tolmat?
There's no longer a sleeping person in the room with me, so I can actually say hi.
Ah.
Hi.
Greetings.
Hello. I'm sending over the science chip so I can
Your
research.
leader looks pretty humanoid. He's got a nose.
My leader is a humanoid.
And that's the only thing that's humanoid
You
about it.
look closer.
The
I
rest
did look too close.
The rest of my people aren't.
Well, you've got a renowned paragon in charge of your capital, who's got a mask on, so they could be a human.
It's just kind of
Wait a second. If you look closer, that's a human mask.
Also, hi to person that was sleeping, and thank you for not killing Tolmat for waking you.
Yes. They've gone to
Please kill
review finances in the other room, which is a very fun thing to do.
Suddenly, Tom died anyways.
Wine and you shall receive. I just got the tech for better research. Or better research labs. Guess that's why Flanker whinges a lot. He just hopes that all of the luck will fall on his lap.
Does work.
Energy Dyson Swarm is almost up.
Yeah, I got that one. I finished 2 of them. I don't have the, I want the arc forges, though. I don't have that one.
Yeah, I'm actually about to fully upgrade my original arc furnace.
I need a Dyson Swarm.
I just need one more Dyson Swarm capacity so I can put one on this engineering research star.
The first one you should play should be on your home star, because that's usually really high output star.
Oh yeah, I missed that one.
It's actually the lowest of mine.
System survey concluded.
It's like one higher on the original energy output than the star I picked, but whatever.
I picked that one and one that was a 6. I don't have another good one.
A 6? Oh, a 6 star.
We didn't pick any
Yeah,
of
it's
the
6
research stars.
No.
Research stars are the best ones to do, though.
I need energy input. I need energy. I need money.
Okay.
Yes.
But my third one's probably going to be on an engineering. I have an engineering star. A pulsar.
Ooh, that's a good plan.
Yep. No,
So are pulsars like always
letting me
engineering?
place a third one, yep.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I know why. Probably because that's upgrading. Taking the capacity. Oh yeah, definitely doing worse than I was at the beginning of the last game. But
I'm doing a lot worse than I did the last game with the exact same build.
oh, somebody bought that slave I put on the market because I don't actually need the grid amalgamation.
Right, people are stopped revolting. Now just a devastation to be fixed up. And why is your stability so low?
Why do I have only 60 alloys a month?
I should go clear out those drones at some point.
I do seem to occupy only one sector, though. At least, so I don't need additional people. I don't need additional ones.
Situation log has been.
Yes, that's the word. I should probably get back on ADHD meds, though, given how often.
There we go.
And given that I'm finally out of school.
I'm gonna need alloys. Time to pump out more ships.
Now that I think about it, I do have some ADHD meds left over from like 5 years ago when I was taking them. Yeah, maybe they might be too high dose though.
Or expired.
Oh, they don't expire for like 10 years. I've never made this much alloys from stations. 166.
Holy hell, how are you doing that?
I have 3 arc furnaces.
Ah, right, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, which so that means in those areas it is arc furnaces, he probably averages 16 stellar bodies producing things. Each one of those gonna be doing 4 alloys if you maxed them out. On top of, I don't remember how many, a lot of minerals.
7. Well, yeah, 7 minerals.
7
Plus
minerals
10,
and
plus
4
10
alloys times 16 times what, 4? You started with it, so 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he has alloys all the time for everybody.
Oh, it doesn't overwrite any research, which I would like it to, because 7 minerals, 4 alloys, it's significantly better than 3 research.
Oh my god, the empire next to me declared war on a fallen empire.
Wait, what?
The empire of Bis Ashet is at war with the Bushin Chroniclers.
I don't even know this
3 minutes.
faction.
And they declared war on them.
They have equivalent
No,
fleet
the
power.
foreign empire declared war on them.
So,
that's
With,
exciting.
Bish or shit?
and
No, they're being attacked. It's a punitive expedition.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
they probably said no to the AI, and the AI decided to turn up.
they must have done something to annoy them.
It's usually the demands of a bunch of ops that does it.
Hobo, did you see that big rebellion spawn on our mutual neighbour to your west, my north?
I do.
That could
Appears
present an opportunity for one or both of us to expand.
Well,
Well, I
this
think
is the
that'd
same
be.
rebellion.
I think that'd potentially be more you, although dependent on what other planets nearby there are, I'd be against such things.
You could have
Yeah,
done
I think
rebellion
next
after all.
session I might start another war with the Fulgarians. I see they're allied with Empire of Bish Ashets, but they are also occupied in that other war, so
It does look
Yeah.
like nearby they do indeed have a handful of continental worlds, which wouldn't go amiss.
uh-huh.
Let's see, I have 10k worth of fleet. How much fleet does he has? 6, 7, 8, 9k. I'm gonna need more. I need more alloys.
More importantly, I see that New
Oh, and
Super
do you
Earth
have
low
alloys
enough
to
that
spare?
I can
Yeah, give me a
build on
sec.
it.
Oh, cool. A level 2 holding thing.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I see you're building a public relations firm.
Alloys.
Yeah, it's more trade for you and more unity for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. I was wondering about the
ship.
research stuff. I
ship
assume
and
you
make
get the
more.
research points, right? And I guess
Yeah, that what it
I've paused and
produces-
saved, just so you know, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What it produces is for the person who made it, and then it gives you jobs.
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls who are watching the stream, if you're watching over on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind doing the whole liking, subscribing, and ringing that bell icon, it really helps significantly more than you would know. If you're watching on Twitch, don't panic. We'll be back in just a few moments. We're just going to be switching to Golf with Your Friends, which everyone is welcome to join. It's going to take me a few seconds to set up. And in the meantime, I'll leave you with some music to listen to while I do all of the changes. If you want to join with Golf with Your Friends, all the details will be over in the Discord, and everyone is most welcome. So, yes, I shall be back in just a few moments. Until then, let's do that, and get some music playing. Eventually. Here you go. I'll be back in just a moment.
I've been drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9, 'cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple 'cause it feels like a lie. We'd play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began